Welcome to my channel Pocket Change Coins, because, as you know, old is gold. Some of the rarest coins worth big money could be hiding in your hands right now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch till the end. Let's dive in. First, we're diving deep into one of the most iconic and talked about coins in American numismatic history, the 1964 Jefferson Nickel. It's a coin that's not just rich in metal but in history, mystery, and potentially a whole lot of value. So, collectors and coin lovers, listen closely, because this coin might just be the key to an unexpected treasure hiding in plain sight. The year 1964 was monumental for American coinage. It marked the final year before the United States Mint removed silver from many circulating coins due to rising metal costs. While nickels were not made of silver at the time, this date has remained a turning point in the numismatic world. The 1964 Jefferson Nickel, minted in Denver, was produced in enormous quantities, over 1.7 billion coins. But even with such a high mintage, certain error types and unique varieties have made a few of these nickels incredibly rare and unbelievably valuable. Now here's where it gets exciting. Among the billions of nickels struck in 1964, a small group contains extraordinary errors that collectors are always searching for. One of the most sought-after varieties is the 1964 D/D repunched mint mark. This occurs when the Denver mint mark was punched more than once, creating a distinct doubling or overlapping effect. With a good magnifying glass or a coin microscope, you can clearly see the doubling of the D mint mark, and this little detail can skyrocket the coin's value dramatically. Another rare feature found on a handful of these nickels is the full steps designation. On the reverse of the Jefferson Nickel, there is a depiction of Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's home. Underneath the building, the steps leading up to it are visible. A coin that shows 5 or 6 sharp, uninterrupted steps is considered a full steps nickel and is highly prized by collectors. But getting a 1964 D nickel with full steps is exceptionally rare due to the weak strikes of that era, making these examples true collector's gems. Some coins from 1964 also exhibit die clashes, where the dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghost-like impressions on the coin. These kinds of minting errors add a mysterious appearance and a great deal of value to the coin. Others have been found with strike-through errors, where foreign materials such as grease or metal shavings get between the die and the blank coin, creating odd textures and missing details, an error that always catches a collector's eye. So, how can you identify if you have a 1964 D nickel that's worth more than 5 cents? First, check for that repunched mint mark by looking at the D under magnification. Look carefully at the steps of Monticello. Can you count 5 or 6 clean, full steps with no major disruptions? Examine both sides of the coin for any unusual marks, doubling, or anomalies in the design. Even the faintest error could be the sign of something very special. Grading plays a huge role in value, too. Coins in mint state condition, MS65 or higher, with strong luster, no signs of wear, and sharp details are always worth much more. Certified examples from trusted grading companies like PCGS or NGC can fetch top dollar prices at auctions and private sales. These certifications give buyers confidence and prove the rarity and authenticity of your find. Let's talk about the market. In recent years, demand for high-grade Jefferson nickels, especially from key years like 1964, has exploded. Collectors are paying attention like never before. In major coin shows and auctions, high-grade 1964 D nickels with full steps or mint mark errors have set new price records. Some dealers even report bidding wars over perfectly preserved examples, and interest keeps growing as more collectors discover the thrill of finding hidden gems in ordinary change. And now, for the part you've all been waiting for. A rare, high-grade 1964 D Jefferson Nickel, featuring full steps, a strong repunched mint mark, and stunning uncirculated condition, has been known to sell for an astonishing $130,000. Yes, $130,000 for a nickel. That's the incredible potential hiding in a small coin you might easily overlook. So before you spend that old nickel, take a closer look. Check your collection, coin jars, inherited boxes, and rolls from the bank. That plain-looking 1964D nickel could actually be a miniature fortune waiting to be discovered. And if you believe you found something special, don't hesitate to send it to a professional grading service. That one step might turn your 5-cent coin into 5 figures, or more. Second rare coin, we are diving into one of the most intriguing and overlooked coins in modern U.S. coinage, the United States 5-cent coin from 1985, minted in Denver. This isn't just any nickel. With the right features, the 1985 Jefferson Nickel could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. So stay tuned, coin lovers, because this is the kind of treasure hunt you don't want to miss. The 1985 Jefferson Nickel is part of a long-running series that began in 1938. Designed by Felix Schlag, the iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his home, Monticello, on the reverse have remained symbols of American heritage. But while billions of nickels have passed through our hands, only a few from certain years, like 1985, possess the rare qualities that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. What makes the 1985 so special? It's not about how many were minted, it's about the ones with hidden minting errors, high-grade strikes, and rare full steps designations that make all the difference. Let's start with one of the most talked about features, the full steps designation. On the reverse side of the nickel, beneath Monticello, you'll see a set of stairs. If you can clearly count 5 or 6 uninterrupted, well-defined steps, that coin could be a full steps example, and that detail alone can make it extremely valuable. Most coins struck in 1985 were not precise enough to preserve the full detail of these steps, so finding one with this sharpness is like hitting a jackpot. But wait, it gets better. Some rare 1985 nickels feature repunched mint marks, a mistake made at the Denver Mint when the D was stamped more than once, slightly off position. This causes a visible shadowing or doubling of the mint mark under magnification. These RPM or repunched mint mark nickels are highly sought after, especially when combined with strong strikes and clean surfaces. If you find a coin with this kind of mint mark anomaly, you may have something very special in your hands. Another notable error collectors look for is die clashes. This happens when the dies strike each other without a blank coin in place, leaving behind ghost-like impressions from the opposing die. These errors add uniqueness and desirability, especially when clearly visible. Coins with off-center strikes and strike-through grease marks are also prized. These kinds of minting mistakes are rare, and when certified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC, they can command astonishing prices at auction. Grading is critical in determining a coin's value. A 1985 nickel in uncirculated mint state 65 or higher, with sharp detail and a clean surface, is significantly more valuable than one that's been circulated. Coins with both full steps and pristine condition are what serious collectors are always on the hunt for, and they're willing to pay a premium. Collectors have been buzzing about these coins for years, and recent auction results prove just how in demand they've become. At coin shows and online auctions, high-grade 1985 nickels with strong designations and error varieties have sold for jaw-dropping prices. One verified full-step specimen graded MS-67 recently created waves in the coin world with aggressive bidding, proving that even modern nickels can become historic collectibles if the right features are present. So here's the million-dollar question, or should I say, the $90,000 question. Do you have a 1985 nickel with full steps, repunched mint mark, or a bold mint error? Because believe it or not, a single 1985 Jefferson Nickel with the right error, superb condition, and high demand recently sold for an incredible $90,000. Yes, that's $90,000 for just one 5-cent coin. That's the power of rarity, condition, and collector enthusiasm all coming together. And that's why now, more than ever, it's worth taking a closer look at the coins you've collected, stored, or even forgotten in old jars. This could be your chance to turn pocket change into a life-changing discovery. So if you've got a 1985 nickel, grab a magnifier, inspect that mint mark, count those steps on Monticello, and look for anything unusual. And if you think you've struck gold, or nickel, don't hesitate to get it graded. You might just be holding on to a treasure that the world is ready to pay for. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin collecting and the hidden value of the 1985 Jefferson Nickel, be sure to like this video, subscribe for more rare coin content, and leave a comment if you've ever come across a similar coin in your collection. Share your experiences, questions, or discoveries. We love hearing from fellow treasure hunters. Third expensive coin. We're diving deep into a coin that might look ordinary to most people but is truly a treasure to coin collectors, the United States 5-cent coin from 1972. Get ready, because this nickel isn't just a piece of American history, it could be the key to unlocking a hidden fortune. The 1972 Jefferson Nickel is part of the long-running series featuring the third President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson. This coin proudly displays Jefferson's profile on the obverse and his famous Monticello estate on the reverse. Although hundreds of millions were minted in 1972, only a select few have qualities and rare features that elevate them into the realm of true collector gold. If you're lucky enough to own one of these rare examples, you might be holding a coin worth far more than 5 cents. What truly excites collectors about the 1972 nickel are the rarities and errors that occurred during the minting process. These small imperfections, when authentic, turn a basic coin into a highly prized collectible. One of the most sought-after variations is the full steps variety. This refers to the steps leading up to Monticello on the reverse side. If all 5 or 6 steps are fully struck and separated, with no wear or weakness, your coin qualifies as a full step specimen, and that instantly increases its value exponentially. Another major factor collectors are hunting for in this 1972 nickel is minting errors, and some of them are incredibly rare. Among the most valuable are the double die obverse varieties. These errors show noticeable doubling on Jefferson's I, the lettering around the coin, or the date itself. When you spot that kind of doubling under magnification, you know you're looking at something extraordinary. Coins with strong doubling can fetch stunning prices, especially when in uncirculated condition. There's also the ever-popular off-center strike, where the design appears shifted away from the center of the coin, sometimes dramatically so. A perfectly misaligned off-center coin, especially with a visible date, is a collector's dream. Other rare errors to look for include die cracks, struck through debris, and clipped planchets, each one adding to the uniqueness and desirability of the coin. The rarer the error and the better the condition, the higher the demand. Now, let's talk about grading, because condition is everything in the coin world. A 1972 nickel that's circulated and worn might just be worth face value. But one that has been preserved in mint state, especially with a grade of MS65 or higher, can demand hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Combine that pristine condition with full steps or a striking mint error, and you've got something that collectors will fight for at auction. Speaking of auctions, let's look at recent examples. Several 1972 Jefferson Nickels with full steps and certified high grades have made headlines in the collecting world. Bidding wars have broken out at major numismatic events, pushing final sale prices far beyond expectations. It's a thrilling reminder that even a small, humble nickel can become a star when rarity and perfection align. So how do you identify if your 1972 nickel is one of these rare gems? First, grab a magnifying glass or coin loupe. Carefully inspect the Monticello steps. Are they sharp, distinct, and fully struck? Next, check the obverse for any signs of doubling in the lettering or date. Look at the alignment of the strike, and scan for any signs of off-center printing or planchet errors. And of course, consider sending the coin to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to have it officially evaluated and certified. That's the best way to know the true value of what you're holding. Now here comes the part that makes every collector's heart race: a verified, rare 1972 Jefferson Nickel, with sharp full steps and an impressive mint error, recently fetched an astounding $60,000 at auction. That's right, $60,000 for a coin you could have walked past or spent without a second thought. It goes to show that coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a hidden world of discovery and potential riches. So, before you hand over that old change at the gas station, take a second look. You never know what treasures are hiding in plain sight. And if you have a 1972 nickel tucked away somewhere, now is the perfect time to examine it closely. You might just have a valuable piece of history in your hands, and a very rewarding one at that. Specially, we shine a spotlight on a coin that may seem simple to the untrained eye, but within its nickel-plated beauty lies a story of rarity, value, and surprising demand. The United States 5-cent coin from the year 1990, minted in Philadelphia, known among collectors as the 1990p Jefferson Nickel. Now, this coin might look like every other nickel you've seen in your pocket change. It features the noble portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his iconic Monticello residence on the reverse, a design that stood the test of time. But don't let its familiar appearance fool you. The 1990p Jefferson Nickel holds secrets that can transform it from a 5-cent piece into a valuable treasure worth thousands. What truly excites the collector community about the 1990p nickel are the rare errors and varieties that have surfaced over the years. Among the most notable features is the highly desirable full steps designation. If you look closely at the reverse of the coin, right at Monticello, you'll see the staircase leading up to the building. Most coins show a blur of steps, but only the finest, most sharply struck coins display 5 or 6 fully separated steps. If your 1990p nickel shows these crisp, complete steps, then congratulations, you're holding a high-demand rarity, but that's not all. Collectors and graders have reported several stunning error varieties on the 1990p Jefferson Nickel. One of the most valuable is the off-center strike, where the image appears shifted away from the coin center. These errors not only grab attention but can dramatically increase value, especially when the coin is missing a large portion of the design while still showing the date and mint mark clearly. Another powerful rarity lies in the elusive double die obverse, where Jefferson's I, date, or lettering shows clear duplication under magnification. This error is subtle but remarkable, a result of the coin die itself being improperly manufactured. It's the kind of error that makes experienced collectors perk up instantly because it signals true scarcity and unique identity in the collecting world. And let's not forget the clipped planchet or struck-through errors, where foreign objects or incomplete metal blanks make their way into the minting process. These quirky but fascinating errors create distinct shapes and gaps in the coin that collectors can't get enough of. Each error tells its own story, making every coin like this a one-of-a-kind artifact. Now, when it comes to grading, condition plays a critical role in determining just how valuable your 1990p nickel might be. Coins graded MS65 and above, especially those with full steps, command a much higher premium in the marketplace. These uncirculated coins show no signs of wear, brilliant luster, and sharp, perfect detail, the kind that makes grading agencies and buyers take notice immediately. A coin in this condition, paired with a rare error or strong full steps, could be the crown jewel of your collection. So how do you assess whether your coin is valuable? Start by checking the clarity of the Monticello steps on the reverse. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to look for clean lines and sharp separation. Next, inspect the coin's overall strike quality. Is it bold, detailed, and free of wear? Don't forget to scan for any odd shapes, missing parts of the rim, doubled letters, or anything that looks out of the ordinary. These are all signs of potential value hiding in your coin. Let's talk about recent sales and auction results. At numismatic conventions and online auctions, serious collectors have been chasing premium examples of the 1990p Jefferson Nickel. One uncirculated specimen with razor-sharp full steps and an off-center strike recently stunned buyers by reaching an incredible final bid. Bidders recognized its rarity and perfection, and it sold for a jaw-dropping sum that reminds us all just how passionate the collecting world is for coins like this. And now, here comes the big moment, an exceptionally rare, high-grade 1990p Jefferson Nickel, featuring a well-documented mint error and full steps detail, has been valued at an astonishing $50,000 in recent collector circles. Yes, that's right, $50,000 for a coin you might have once received as change at a coffee shop. This is why coin collecting continues to fascinate people of all ages. You never know what treasures you might find. So if you have a 1990p nickel in your coin jar, your drawer, or tucked away in an old wallet, now is the time to take a second look. This isn't just any nickel, it could be a small piece of American minting history with big value waiting to be discovered. Don't let it slip through your fingers. Last unique coin, we're talking about the United States 5-cent coin minted in Denver in 1994, the 1994 D. Jefferson Nickel. Don't scroll past this thinking it's just another coin, because the story behind this nickel is more fascinating than you think. At first glance, the 1994 D nickel might appear like a regular coin, featuring the familiar profile of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and the majestic Monticello building on the reverse. But here's the twist: this particular year and mint mark combination is surrounded by hidden rarity and unexpected value. It's a shining example of how even a modern-looking nickel can hold immense worth when it carries the right features. Now, what exactly makes the 1994 D nickel so special in the eyes of serious collectors? One word: errors. Yes, mint errors. These unintentional mistakes made during the minting process are highly sought after by numismatists across the globe. The most valuable 1994 D nickels often include striking anomalies like double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and even struck-through errors, where foreign objects were between the die and the planchet during the minting process. Each of these errors turns a common coin into an extraordinary collectible. Imagine holding a coin where Thomas Jefferson's features are doubled, his eyes, lips, or even the lettering of the word Liberty appearing twice due to a die misalignment. That's not a flaw, that's a rarity, and collectors pay high premiums for that uniqueness. Off-center strikes, where the design is pushed to one side of the coin, are another type of error that transforms value dramatically. The more extreme the off-center, the higher the demand, especially when the date and mint mark remain visible. Another key feature that can add significant value to a 1994 D Jefferson nickel is the full steps designation. This term refers to the steps on Monticello on the reverse side of the coin. Most nickels don't have clearly defined steps due to worn dies or improper strikes. But if your coin has 5 or 6 fully visible, unbroken steps, it gets labeled as full steps, and collectors go wild for it. That level of strike precision is tough to find and speaks volumes about the coin's quality and rarity. And let's talk about grading. The condition of the coin matters more than ever. Coins graded MS65 or higher, especially with full steps or mint errors, are the cream of the crop. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Coins in near-perfect, uncirculated condition with sharp detail, luster, and zero damage fetch much higher prices at auctions and private sales alike. So before you toss that nickel back into circulation, examine it closely. It might be a high-grade specimen with hidden value. Recently, in high-profile auctions and private coin dealer circles, we've seen 1994 D nickels with rare error combinations and pristine condition reach incredible values. Collectors have their eyes wide open for this date, knowing that errors on modern coins are even more desirable because they're harder to find and often escape unnoticed. There's real thrill in discovering one in your own pocket change. It's the ultimate coin hunting success story. Now, for the moment everyone's been waiting for. A United States 5-cent coin from 1994 with a dramatic mint error, verified full steps, and top-tier uncirculated grade has sold for an astonishing $40,000. Yes, you heard that right, $40,000 for a coin originally worth only 5 cents. That's the magic of numismatics, finding rarity where others see ordinary. So, next time you come across a nickel, don't underestimate it. Flip it over, grab a magnifying glass, check for errors, and look for those sharp Monticello steps. It could be your ticket to a rare and valuable find. Every coin has a story, and yours might be waiting to be uncovered.